I'm David Powell, and I want to tell you about my OLLI course, Early Cuban Exiles, Memories of Loss, Struggle, and Rebirth. It's the story of 600,000 Cuban refugees who came to the United States in the first 15 months after Fidel Castro took power in Havana. They came in two massive waves from 1959 to 1973, and they began a diaspora that continues to this day. They laid the foundation for the modern Cuban American community, economically, culturally, and politically. You can't understand Florida if you don't understand the early Cuban exiles. To understand them, I interviewed 54 persons who participated in or witnessed the beginning of the Cuban diaspora. I used those interviews for my oral history book, and I'll use them as the basis for this OLLI course. We'll learn about Cuba before the revolution, how it changed under Castro, how and why the exiles left, what happened when they got here. It's a great story because it's about ordinary people caught in a struggle between powerful historical forces over which they have no control. But it's more than that. It's a story about America at its best. Not perfect by any means, but as the land of refuge and opportunity that it's always been for oppressed people from around the world. And it's a story that shows how refugees will strengthen America if we let them. The diaspora that began in 1959 continues in our time. Almost 500,000 Cubans came to the United States in 2022 and 2023. My course will explain how and why the diaspora began. The course will be in person on Monday, June 10th and Monday, June 17th from 2:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon at the Red Hills Village Retirement Resort. I hope to see you there.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rima Nathan, and I'm the director of the Claude Pepper Elder Law Clinic, which is housed over at FSU's Law School. The class that I'm teaching this summer is called Know Your Rights as You Age, and this is an overview course for everything that you need to be aware of as you're aging or as your loved ones around you are aging. So whether you are currently a caregiver or you might be stepping into the caregiver role, or you might be someone who needs to be cared for, this is a class that is going to introduce you into all those concepts and hopefully make you feel more comfortable stepping into those legal issues if they do ever arrive for you. So we're going to have guest speakers from multiple law firms in Tallahassee who all are experts in the field of elder law. We're going to talk about, for example, estate planning, why it's important to have your affairs in order. And even if you have already drafted and signed a will or a durable power of attorney for yourself, most elder law attorneys recommend that at least every 5 years you review those documents and update them. So even if you've already done this stuff before, we're going to give you some information that's still helpful moving forward. We're also going to talk about Medicare and Medicaid and what's called Medicaid planning, which is very relevant for healthcare planning as you age. How can we afford these things? How can you afford to stay in a nursing home for years and years and years if that ends up happening? There are many different ways that you can plan those kinds of situations and set yourself up so that you're prepared and ready if those times ever come. We're also going to talk about guardianship, which is a court process that happens if somebody else ever needs to make decisions on your behalf. And we'll kind of talk about the details of that. And then we're going to talk about nursing homes, how they're regulated, what you need to know if your loved one is ever going into a nursing home, and also some current trends in financial exploitation, which we have seen that really ramped up, especially post-COVID and especially in Florida. So we're going to kind of give you a huge overview of things in the law that are helpful to be aware of, and will hopefully introduce you to some great attorneys in town who are here as experts in all of these issues. Our clinic, the Elder Law Clinic at FSU, we do handle most of these issues for low-income people over the age of 60. So we are constantly working on these issues. But if you do not meet our income requirements, we have wonderful, trusted friends in town who also handle many of these issues. So hopefully, if you take our course and find that you do want to learn a little bit more about a specific area or get some feedback that's specific to your situation, we'll be able to connect you to trusted folks in town too. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ed Offley, and my in-person course is titled Submarines, Secrets, and Spies. For most of the 20th century and beyond, the submarine has been a primary weapon in naval warfare, posing a threat to enemy warships and merchant shipping alike. But starting in World War II, submarines took on a new mission. They began transport for spies, saboteurs, and commandos on secret operations, and later themselves became platforms for actual highly classified espionage missions. Inevitably, the submarine itself, its design and stealth, its closely guarded communications, and its role as an espionage platform made it become a prime target for enemy spies itself. Throughout my 43-year career, I've studied and observed the evolution of submarines from the notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci in the 1500s to the latest Virginia-class attack boat under construction in Newport News, Virginia. This 3-session course will cover that remarkable history. Our first session will provide an account of the submarine from Renaissance pipe dream to the latest nuclear boat designs. We'll follow the ever-accelerating transformation of the submarine from a fragile, man-propelled semi-submersible to a strategic nuclear ballistic missile launch platform. Our second session will focus on the bloody U-boat assault, Operation Drumbeat, that struck the East Coast and Gulf of Mexico in 1942, that sank nearly 500 Allied vessels and pitched our alliance with Britain into a crisis. The third session, I'll discuss one of the darkest Cold War secrets of the U.S. Navy submarine service. That was the loss of the nuclear attack submarine USS Scorpion and its 99-man crew in 1968. Long deemed an unsolvable mystery, my research has shown that was actually an act of combat covered up by both sides. With the United States and its allies today standing on the brink of a new Cold War with Russia and China, I believe you'll find this course both interesting and relevant. It will be held over 3 sessions, June 11, 18, and 25 at the Inlet Beach Ohana Center, and I look forward to having a lot of people come and attend. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jan Brown, and I'll be teaching Football 101 at the Westminster Oaks Center on Wednesday mornings from 9:30 to 11:30. If you've spent fall Saturdays and Sundays totally confused about football, then this course is for you. Did you give up trying to learn because the game moved too quickly or no one had time to teach you or had the patience? Then Football 101 is aimed at you who knows little or nothing about football. We'll learn about the field and markings, equipment, scoring, kicking game, player positions, officials, basic rules and penalties, coaches, coaching, simple game strategy, and football jargon. We'll start with a field trip tour to Doak Campbell Stadium and Moore Athletic Center, led by Jason Baisden, an associate athletic director, who will put it all in perspective. A visit by football official, Bob Gosling, will explain the rules and penalties. And last but not least, Charlie Ward, one of the most decorated college football players in history, will visit to talk about playing football and show some videos to demonstrate the game. These will be his game videos. After you've completed this class, you'll be cheering right along with everybody else.
Hello. If I mention the names the Flintstones or the Jetsons, Scooby-Doo, Yogi Bear, Johnny Quest, Top Cat, Smurfs, it might make a memory appear in your head, but even if it doesn't, the Hanna-Barbera cartoons that started all the way back almost 100 years ago are still influencing today's entertainment. And we're going to explore a lot of that. Hanna-Barbera, Bill Hanna and Joe Barbera met for the first time in 1937 at MGM Studios. And within 2 years, they created Tom and Jerry, two of the most enduring characters in history, winning more Academy Awards than Meryl Streep. They also worked for people like Gene Kelly and for Esther Williams doing sequences for their films. So we're going to see some of that, but we're going to even go further when MGM let everybody go in the animation department, and they were forced to find a new way to create animation for television. So a lot of their artists gathered with them, and they created shows like Rough and Ready, the phenomenal Huckleberry Hound. We'll see why that that was an intellectual, popular on college campuses show. Quick Draw McGraw, the Yogi Bear show. And one of the most important of their programs, The Flintstones, the first primetime animated sitcom. And why that's one of the most important TV shows in history, how it still influences things. We'll go into the other primetime shows. We'll move into Saturday morning when Hanna-Barbera had more shows, more characters on network television and in syndication, and employed more people, thousands of people, than any other studio in history. And we'll go into the 70s, into the 80s and 90s as the characters became legendary and they started working with people like Steven Spielberg and big name stars, and how Hanna-Barbera kept an active role and hired a lot of their artists from the 30s and also brought young people in who went on to great careers. We'll look at the primetime shows, as well as we'll look at specials. We'll look at, as a grand finale, the motion pictures for theaters like Charlotte's Web, and films that are based on their own characters like Flintstones and Yogi Bear, but also live action films and even films with Yogi Bear and with Tom and Jerry that were major successes, and Scooby-Doo. So this program is called Hanna-Barbera, Modern Stone Age to Meddling Kids, and scheduled to be held via Zoom from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesdays, May 8th, 15th, 22nd, June 12th, 19th, and 26th. I guarantee it's going to be a yabba dabba do time, and I'll even tell you the story behind how that phrase was originated. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Daryl Myers. I'm an adjunct professor of history at Tallahassee Community College. My master's degree in history is from right here at Florida State University. And I specialized, among other things, in history of science. So join me for a class on Charles Darwin and his theory in historical context. We're going to start way back a long time ago, like with Aristotle. I'm sure everybody's heard of, trace a lot of these things through time over history. I'm going to go into great detail about Charles Darwin himself, the voyage of the Beagle, how he developed his theories, how he wrote his famous and influential books, how he communicated with other people. And I will follow, after that, trace, at least in general, how biology has developed since Charles Darwin. So hopefully you'll see how all these things are related. I want to emphasize this is a history class. This is not a technical class for biology majors or anything like that. Be a lot of interesting stories and personalities. This is going to be at Westminster Oaks in person for 6 Wednesdays, 3 in May and 3 in June, from 2:30 to 4:30. I look forward to seeing you there.
I'm Bill Kunstler. I'm a master gardener volunteer in Walton County, also a master naturalist through the University of Florida. And I'd like to invite you to a guided plant ID tour of Topsail Hill Preserve State Park in Walton County. The class will be on Wednesday, May the 15th, and it'll be a 2 to 3 hour class where we will look at this beautiful little corner, as I think of it, of Walton County. Of course, we won't see the whole park, but you will learn about some of the natural history of Walton County, including the importance of the timber and turpentining industry in this area. We'll see a lot of the native plants that are part of the longleaf pine ecosystem, and learn how private and public landowners are managing land to try to return this important ecosystem to our area. If we're fortunate, if they haven't already gone out of sight, we'll see some of the insectivorous plants that we have in the southeastern part of the country. Things like pitcher plants, sundews, those types of things. And you'll learn about the different important roles that many plants and animals play in the longleaf pine ecosystem. We'll start this class at 9 o'clock at Tram Stop 1 in Topsail Hill Preserve State Park. This is the tram stop that's at the main parking lot. And that is Central Daylight Time. So hope to see many of you there. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Jim Wilson, and I'll be teaching the wine tasting course. It's a 3-week course at the Ohana Institute in Inlet Beach, and it will be at 5:30 p.m. Wednesday, the 12th of June, the 19th, and the 26th. The purpose of the course is to acquaint you with the process of assessing wines through the senses of sight, smell, and taste. This will allow you to describe what you like and what you don't like in a particular wine, so you improve your odds of getting a wine you like at the restaurant or at the store. To do this, we'll be tasting 5 wines per session from various wine regions around the world, focusing on how to pair wines with foods. We will taste rosés, sparkling wine, light and medium-bodied whites and reds. We will learn about winemaking and how vintners vary their methods so that they can showcase the individual grape varieties' flavors. We'll also learn about the importance of climate and soil to determine what grapes are planted in the regions so that they can make the best wines possible in that region. So it's going to be fun. We're going to taste wine. And I hope to see you June 12th at the first session. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Emmanuel Abramovitz, and I will be teaching a class called The Top 25 Film Scores of All Time. That will happen on Thursday at 9 a.m. starting on May 9th. That's 1 month from now. And that will be a class in which we'll cover the main film scores of all time and mainly the composers who were behind them. We'll talk about 4 or 5 films by each of those great composers who wrote the music for the best films. So we'll learn a lot of the film industry. We'll learn a lot of about music, about the history of film scores. Film scores have been done for 90 years so far. And these are, this is a very, very good list assembled by the American Film Institute about the best music for films ever. There are all types of films and all types of stories, anecdotes. It's a class that I have taught for dozens of organizations, of institutions across the country. It's been very successful, and it will be a pleasure to share those stories and anecdotes and the great music with you. By the way, it will be on Zoom, remember, 9 a.m. Starting on Thursday, May 9, for 6 weeks online. See you then. Thanks a lot.
Hello, my name is David Telesco, and I work for the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. My colleague, Zachary Wardwell, and I are experts on Florida black bears and panthers who want to share our passion and knowledge of these 2 iconic species with you. Through multimedia presentations, we'll walk you through the biology of these 2 species, going over their diet, reproduction, habitat preferences, senses, and behavior. Then we'll go in depth into several different research projects we have going on to investigate the population abundance, survival, habitat use, and movements of bears and panthers. And finally, we'll wrap it up and bring all this information together to talk to you about how we manage these species. We'll go over the historical and current regulations and laws related to bears and panther, how they have been managed in the past, and most importantly, how the agency works with organizations and members of the public to overcome challenges and reduce conflicts between wildlife and people in the ever-changing landscape of Florida. The course will be held in person at Westminster Oaks from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on May 9th, 16th, and 23rd. We hope to see you there.
Hello, my name is Paul McGinnis. I'm going to be in person hosting a class at Westminster Oaks on May 9th, 16th, and 23rd from 2:30 to 4:30 Eastern. I'm going to be talking about the internet, providing a glimpse as to how it came about, what it is, its evolution, and how the pieces fit together. I'll explain how a bug in a program can cause the failure of all 911 service in a 5-state area for 5 hours, which means for 5 hours, people couldn't call 911. We'll cover topics like the cloud as a concept, specifically Microsoft's OneDrive, firewalls, distributed denial of service, and 50 to 60 other topics. I need to point out that this will not be a technical presentation. There will be information you can use on a daily basis. Last time I talked to class, one of the participants asked me about their Comcast bill, then went down to Comcast, changed the billing option, saved $15 a month. And I can imagine being able to save 25 or even 30 based on the right set of conditions. We'll handle the class as a lecture. We'll cover 5 or 6 topics and then take questions. Then we'll do another 5 or 6 topics and take questions. I hope that it'll end up being a tutoring session for those who are curious about one aspect or another and be comfortable enough to go ahead and ask questions about something that maybe they've heard or something that I've alluded to. If any of you are interested in taking the class but aren't quite certain about the scope, just give me a call. My number is 850-294-8124, and we can talk for 5 or 10 minutes. You can decide if you really want to be in the class. I hope to see you. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Lisa Wickstead with Connections Yoga, and I'm going to be teaching a 3-week falls prevention strategies yoga class. It's going to be offered on Zoom, May 9th through the 23rd from 2:30 to 3:30. This 3-week class is going to incorporate physical therapy-based strategies and yoga poses that will help you minimize your fall risk. The first week, we're going to be looking at stepping strategies, how we move our bodies and shift our weight so that we stay stable in our steps and increase our balance. The second week, we'll look at hip strategy, which is how we distribute our weight and how our pelvis and hips stabilizes the body as we move top and bottom. The third week is ankle strategy and how we strengthen our legs and our ankles to help us to be more balanced. And all of these strategies help to improve our strength in the body. It helps to improve our balance and ultimately helps to minimize our falls so that we prevent injuries. So I really hope that you'll take a part of this class with me. Like I said, again, it is 3 weeks starting May 9th. It is Zoom from 2:30 to 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I look forward to sharing this class with you and making a positive difference in your life. Thank you.
Hello, prospective OLLI students, and welcome to a great welcome from the Great Smoky Mountains. My name is Blair Bishop. I'm a consulting forester and have the chance to work across a diverse forest landscape here in the mountains. My course, Southern Appalachians Forest and Forestry, is 3 Zoom sessions, 6:13, 6:20, and 6:27 from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. And we'll explore this diverse ecosystem. We'll look at the soils, the climate, the geography, as well as the cultural and historical practices that have shaped this region's forests over time. We'll also dive into this region's impact on conservation in America, as well as the birthplace of professional forest management. And then we'll finish up with a study of dendrology and improving our tree identification skills. So I look forward to walking in the woods with you and you joining me online this June. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Margaret Gamble. I'm a librarian by trade, but I love to read adult and children books to my patrons. So, do you like a good ghost story? Do you like mysteries? And do you want to take a virtual trip to New Orleans with me? If so, join me as we enjoy reading award-winning author Karen White's book titled The House on Britannia. It's part book club, part travel guide, and we'll explore the neighborhoods, the cuisine, the architecture, adult beverages, landmarks, and more while reading The House on Britannia. In fact, I'm on my way to NOLA this weekend to trace the footsteps of our main characters and visit some familiar haunts, because it is a ghost story. My class is being held on June 13th, June 20th, and June 27th, 5:30 to 7 Central Time. And as a bonus, first 12 students to enroll receive a copy of the book for free. So join me as we go to New Orleans and enjoy a good book. Thank you.
I'm Michelle Kashmer, professor and dean in the College of Communication and Information at Florida State University. I'm also an agathologist, which is someone who studies Agatha Christie from an academic or a fandemic perspective. I've been an Agatha Christie fan since I began reading her books when I was about 12, and I've been an agathologist since I did my first academic analysis of the Miss Marple novels in 2014. Many of us know Agatha Christie as a mystery novelist, and many of us have heard about her most famous detectives, Hercule Poirot and Miss Jane Marple. But Agatha Christie was so much more. She was an extraordinary woman, traveler, wife, and mother who led an incredible life. She wrote mystery novels featuring other recurring characters, as well as many standalones, and a huge corpus of short stories in both mystery and supernatural genres, as well as a set of novels written under the pseudonym Mary Westmacott. She is also one of the most accomplished female playwrights of all time, and her works have been adapted into almost every imaginable medium: film, TV, radio, audio, video game, board game, puzzle, fashion, and so forth. This course meets for 3 days, 2 hours each day, so I've just divided the content into 6 topics. I will share some of my knowledge, and we will have the opportunity to discuss: first, Agatha Christie the woman, introducing her personal life and history. Second, tropes and tricks, or how Agatha Christie and the Detection Club shaped the golden age of crime fiction. Third, her 2 most famous detectives, Hercule Poirot and Miss Jane Marple. Fourth, the other recurring sleuths and standalones. Fifth, Agatha Christie as playwright and romance novelist. And 6, adaptations and re-envisionings of her works in many media. I look forward to learning with you.
Hello, oh, wait, sorry. I was posing for my friend Picasso. Sorry. Hi, my name is Nick Santamaria, and I've been teaching for OLLI for about 7 years now, and I just love to share what I'm passionate about with the students. I'm teaching a course called Controlled Anarchy. No, it's not about Washington, D.C. It's about the Marx Brothers. That's right. Zeppo, Gummo, Groucho, Harpo, and Chico. There was even a 6th Marx brother that not many people know about. We'll be talking about that. We're going to look into their careers, their trajectory to stardom, why they're popular today. They had a resurgence in the late 60s, early 70s. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to look at a lot of film clips, and we're going to laugh a lot. So join me. We begin on May 8th. That's May 8th. Then we go to May 15th, May 22nd, and then there's a 2-week break. We come back in June on the 12th, and then the 19th, and then we close out on the 26th. Those are Wednesdays from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And if you're in California, that's 10 o'clock until something else. So come and enjoy the crazy madness of the Marx Brothers. I'd love to see you there. See you there. Bye. Okay, Pablo, let's go. Let's start again. Ow. Oh, that hurt.